Lesson 11 of acid bases and salts. In this lesson we'll be looking at SLOs 10.7.1 till 10.7.3. In these SLOs we'll be looking at the term salts, we'll be looking at the properties of salts and the methods of preparing soluble and insoluble salts. Boys, as we know that when acid reacts with a base, they form salt and water. So salts are basically the product of neutralization reaction. Salts are ionic compounds. They are formed by cation and anion. So salts are made up of positive ions, which are called the cations, and the negative ions, which are called the anions. So salt has two parts, the cation part and the anion part. The cation is metallic ion derived from the base. So cation is always derived from the base. Okay, base is the source of cation. Base से क्या आता है? Cation आता है. और acid से क्या आता है? Acid से आता है anion. When cation and anion they both meet, they form salts. Okay, so always remember cation comes from the base and anion comes from the acid. Let's look at the example. We have a base NaOH and we have an acid H2SO4. What is going to happen when they both are allowed to react? We know that NaOH produces OH ions because it's a base, and base has OH ions which are called hydroxyl ions, and acid has hydrogen ions, so H2SO4 will produce hydrogen ions. When OH ions and hydrogen ions they react, they form water. Okay, what is left behind? The left behind is the cation from the base, which is sodium. यहाँ से OH चला गया. What is left? Sodium. Okay, so sodium has positive charge, that is why it is cation. And what is left with the acid? Acid has given its hydrogen ion. What is left? It's SO4 or sulfate part, and sulfate is the anion. What is going to happen when this cation reacts with this anion? They will share the valencies, and according to their sharing of the valencies, according to their valencies, they will form a salt which will be Na2SO4, which is sodium sulfate. You all know this method. This 2 is this 2 is actually the valency. ये valency क्या हो जाती है? क्रॉस हो जाती है. So Na के नीचे ये जब 2 आएगा, so Na2SO4 will be the salt. Let's take another example. Let's say we have base NaOH and we have an acid HNO3. NaOH is sodium hydroxide, HNO3 is called nitric acid. Both of them are strong. NaOH produces OH ions. As we know, it is base, so it will produce OH ions, and HNO3 is an acid, so it will produce hydrogen ions. When OH ions and hydrogen ions they react, they will form water. What will be left behind? The cation part of the base and the anion part of the acid. The anion and cation share same valencies, so in this case their valencies will be cancelled out, and the formula of the salt will be NaNO3, which is called sodium nitrate. I hope this is quite understandable and clear to you all. Let's move on to the properties of salts. Salts are ionic compounds. They are always formed by cation and anion, so they are ionic compounds and they are crystalline in nature. They have high melting and boiling points. Most of the salts contain water of crystallization. Whenever we have neutralization reaction, we have two products from the neutralization reaction. One is salt and the other thing is water. So salt is always produced in water. That is why it always contains, its crystals always contain water of crystallization. What is water of crystallization? Water of crystallization are those water molecules which are attached to the crystals of the salt once it is formed during the neutralization reaction. Like we have with CuSO4, which is called copper sulfate, we have 5 water molecules, and CaSO4, which is calcium sulfate, it has 2 water molecules. So these 2 water molecules and these 5 water molecules that are attached to the salt, they are considered as water of crystallization. Where does this water of crystallization come from? During the neutralization, the water which is formed is absorbed into the crystals. Okay. Salts are neutral compounds. We know that there are opposite charges and the charges are equal. Okay. Cations and anions are not same in number. Sometimes cations are more, sometimes anions are more in number, but their charges always cancel out each other's effects. Okay. So they are always neutral compounds. They have no net charge. We have the methods of preparing salts. We have two types of salts. We have soluble salts and we have insoluble salts. There are two methods for preparing soluble salt. One is acid base reaction and the other is acid metal or metal oxide reaction. Whereas insoluble salts can be prepared by double displacement reaction. Let's look at the first soluble salts. Soluble salts can be prepared by acid base reaction. So when you have acid base reaction, the reaction that you have already learned, this is called neutralization reaction. What is formed? A salt is formed and a water is formed. Okay, so acid base reactions are the easiest methods of producing salts in the laboratory. The second method is acid metal or metal oxide reaction. We know that when acid reacts with metal, salt and hydrogen gas is formed. We have learned this in the chemical properties of acids. So when acid reacts with any metal, it produces a soluble salt as well as hydrogen gas. Whereas in case of a metal oxide, the case is different. When acid reacts with a metal oxide, it produces salt and water. Okay, so the example is given to you and we have learned these reactions previously in the chemical properties of acids, so we will not go into the depth of these reactions again. Double displacement reaction. This is the method of preparing inorganic salts, insoluble salts. Insoluble salts can be prepared by double displacement. When you take two solutions of two different salts and you mix them together, what is going to happen? One of the salt will be heavy, one of the salt will be insoluble, that will precipitate out. Precipitation means it will form solid particles that will settle down into the solution, while the other one is still soluble, that will remain in the solution. Okay, so in this case AgCl, when we take AgNO3 and let it react with NaCl, these two are different salt solutions. We mix them, AgCl is formed, which is solid. It precipitates out, it settles down into the solution as solid particles, and NaNO3 still remain dissolved. In this case, we have Na2CO3, which is sodium carbonate. We mix it with copper sulfate. Once we mix them, double displacement reaction occurs. Sodium takes SO4 and copper takes CO3. So as a result, copper carbonate is formed, which is solid in form. It will precipitate out in the reaction. It will settle down as solid particles. Whereas sodium sulfate is still soluble and will remain into the solution. Remember, boys, if you want to recognize what insoluble salts are, always remember that the salts of heavy metals such as silver, mercury, lead are insoluble. If you have salts of 1A metal, always remember they are always soluble. 1A metal का कोई भी salt होगा, that will always be soluble. And carbonates and hydroxides, यानी जैसे हमने अभी पीछे पढ़ा CuCO3, कार्बोनेट एंड हाइड्रोक्साइड जिनमें OH होता है, एक्सेप्ट 1A मेटल सारे इनसॉल्युबल होते हैं. 1A मेटल के कार्बोनेट और हाइड्रोक्साइड्स को छोड़ के बाकी जितने मेटल भी कार्बोनेट्स होंगे और जितने मेटल के भी हाइड्रोक्साइड्स होंगे, दे विल ऑलवेज बी इनसॉल्युबल. I hope you understood this lecture well. If you have any problem or any query, you can ask me in the comment box. Meet you in the next lesson video. Till then, Allah Hafiz.